It's been a while. A while. For a time there I wasn't feeling great. I hit a slump. I felt like I fell into a hole and I was trying to figure out how to climb out of it. And I finally feel like I'm out of the hole. But I learned so much from being in it. Um it's been rough. Last time I tried to sit down and just talk here and I couldn't stop crying. I just couldn't get myself to say anything. It was hard. And what's funny is that I am in the best place I've been in my life in a while, or ever. And I felt so out of it, out of my body, like my soul had been taken away from me. You know that the movie Get Out? There's a scene where he can see from inside his brain, like from inside his head, and he's seeing himself just like leave the the eyes. He's like inside and just falling and falling into like a black void, and he's like getting really far away from what looks like a screen, but it's his eyes. You know what I mean? I felt like that. I felt like I was watching my life and myself act and say things that didn't feel like myself, and I just the only thing I could do was just watch and feel like shit. And I don't know what it is, but I do know that it's more common than I thought to feel that way sometimes. Because I've talked to a lot of friends, I've talked to people that seem to have everything together, that seem to like be in a really good place, and they felt the same or they went through the same. And it's crazy how we think that because we're going through those periods, everything's over. I used to believe when I was feeling that way that I just lost myself, that like, oh my God, I'm never gonna be the same as I was. And I used to go back and watch the videos I used to post, and I was like, I'm never gonna be like that again. I've lost myself, blah blah. And that's not true. Like, I realize that sometimes we can really be absolutists in the way we talk, and that creates our realities as well. I also realized how heavy words are, and I know that's something like everyone says, like, oh my God, choose your words and like manifest and whatever. But it's true. In a way, if you think about it, who we are is what we put out in the world, not what we have inside, because not everyone has access to that, only you. So, like, in a way, anything that you put out is words, your work, your reactions. That's who you are or how you're perceived. So, if the only thing that comes out of your mouth or hands or whatever is negative things, that's what your life is going to be. That's how you're going to be perceived. That's what you're going to just keep putting out and getting back. And I realized words are literally what we use to create our reality. Words are us. Our reactions are us, not what's inside. What's inside, we can't control. It's inevitable. Sometimes we might feel a certain type of way that we don't even want to feel, but we just feel it. And the only thing left to do is just feel it and tell yourself, I'm not going to act on this because this is not who I want to be and this is not me. But I'm going to feel it because that is inside of my brain and I just can't help it but feel that way. And that's who you are. Not what you feel, but what you do with how you feel. And for a while, I was just feeling like I wanted to react negatively or victimize myself or even punish myself. I was like, why do I want to punish myself? Like, I did a lot of work to like myself and fall in love with myself, to now being punished by myself. Like, why? And I realized that this is something that the way you treat yourself when you're alone is usually a reflection of the patterns that you learned growing up, whether it's you learned from someone or you learned yourself. And when they're not good, you got to really tap into why and the root cause of the actions that you're doing to yourself. And I realized that every time I did something wrong or I made a mistake, I just found a reason to punish myself and be an absolutist and just say like, no, you're never going to do this again. Now you're never going to be this person. Now you lost yourself. And it's like, why do I do that? And I realized that when I was a kid, I used to always be validated and celebrated with big accomplishments, or like having good grades, or being good at like an extracurricular or anything like that, you know? And when I did something wrong or like I made a mistake, it was usually followed by like a reprimand. Is that a word? Yeah, I think so. By like they'll call my attention, like, no, that's not how you do it. Or like, no, that's not okay. Blah blah blah. And I was always afraid of feeling reprimanded because I had perfectionist tendencies. And that dynamic turned into, now every time I make a mistake, or I make a mistake specifically in public, or someone notices, oh, I failed. Oh, everyone's gonna think I'm stupid from now on. Like, everything's like so big. And I realized that that's something I learned growing up that I need to unlearn. And it's nothing that like I could pinpoint like, oh my God, it's because my parents used to. No, no, no. I just decided to create that dynamic within myself for protection because of the fear of not being perfect. Because I felt great when I always received validation from an external source. Whether it was in school, in a relationship, in a friendship, I always searched for someone telling me, good job. I never gave myself the compliments like, you did a great job. No, it was always like, I need to look for someone to tell me. And I feel like doing that growing up over and over again made my brain, like wired my brain to instinctively, every time I made a mistake, I need to punish myself and I need to correct it and I need to say like what's wrong and I need to force myself to immediately change everything and be perfect. That's a lot of pressure. Like the more you say, no, I need to change everything now, the more you want to change, the less you do, because you overcharge your brain with corrections. When you see too much in front of you, you are paralyzed. Like, at least to me, it translates as paralysis. I'm like, oh my God, I'm seeing so many things, I don't want to do anything. And I just don't. And then I just bathe in the hole with guilt. That's like the cycle. I'm in the hole. I know I need to crawl out. I punish myself for being in the hole. I see people from the outside. I'm like, no, you can't help me. I need to go out. I need to get out. I deserve to be here. I deserve to be here because of this, this, and this, and that. And the hole just fills up with guilt water. And I'm just bathing in guilt water. And then people are trying to like get me out of the guilt water. I'm like, no, leave me here, dude. Leave me here. Taking a bath. And I realized guilt water is acid. It's poison. Guilt is like the scariest thing you can feel because it's extremely destructive. extremely destructive because there's nothing that can get you out of guilt. It's the cycle. You feel guilty for doing what you're doing, but then you feel guilty for feeling guilty because you can't do anything, and you're just like in a cycle of I feel guilty, I feel this way, but I can't change it, so I'm guilty. So it's just like, bro. And a big thing that I realized was that I was feeling guilty for something that wasn't even mine. It's been hard to grasp the fact that I had to leave home in order to fulfill my dreams because I miss home, I miss my family. But I realized that I carry this guilt that is kind of external. It's a guilt that doesn't even feel mine. It feels learned and inherited. I feel guilty for leaving. I feel guilty for making my parents hurt because I'm not there. I feel guilty because if I'm not doing something productive every day, if I'm not creating, if I'm not advancing in my career every day, I'm failing. Therefore, I feel guilty for not being in my home. So I feel guilty because I'm wasting time, not advancing how I should. But if I do something big, an accomplishment, and I want to step forward into my career over here, I feel guilty because I am being happy and not there with them. And this was consuming me to a point that I did not understand what I was feeling. I just felt guilt and fear and uncertainty, and the guilt just stopped me completely. Because fear you can metabolize as a motor. You can stop it from being your brake and you can make it a motor. And you know what? Like, if fear can be my compass, I'm going to go where it's scary because that's where I need to go. But guilt, I think guilt is its own thing. You can't transform it unless you simply decide to say it's not mine. It's not mine to carry. And it wasn't one day that I was like, oh, this is what's going on. No, I had to like ask and ask and ask myself and go to the root cause as to why am I feeling so depressed and so unmotivated to do anything? Because I need to be advancing in my career or in my dreams, but I don't find the motivation to do so. But I know I need to do it. And I feel guilty that I'm not getting further, but I'm also not doing anything to help that goal. So what am I doing? I'm just stuck. But I'm stuck in this hole that is full of what? What's stopping me? It was guilt. And it was always just because I was trying to find a reason to punish myself for not being productive every day, for putting myself goals that are unattainable on a day-to-day basis, that I would just paralyze myself with all the goals that I needed to do that day, didn't do anything, then punish myself for not doing it, then feeling guilty, then just being completely depressed. And it's a cycle. Do you see what I mean? And I talk in experience because I feel like this is not just me. And I feel like this resonates with you. It's because maybe you're going through something similar in a different way. I really believe that we all connect in our emotions. Because as a ground level, we all feel the same like gamma of emotions, but in different frequencies, in different intensities. But it's the same. It's like our taste buds. We all have taste buds, and we all savor the same thing: sour, sweet, salty, umami. And then there's so many foods and so many flavors that everyone tastes in different scales and intensities, but it all goes down to the same taste buds that taste the same types of flavors. Like, you know what I mean? The senses. Emotions are a standard, it's a base. We all feel the same types of emotions, but in different levels. And I feel like there we can all connect. And if I feel like if I tell my story, it might serve for someone as like a I see what you mean, like I feel that too. Or maybe mine is not guilt because it doesn't feel like yours, but maybe it's this. It's like bounce off of my story as well. I'm not like just trying to dump, like trauma dump. Like I'm not traumatized, I'm fine. I just wanted to share it because I feel like it's something that many of us are scared to talk about because we might feel guilty that we're not going as far or in the same level that people around us are. And I feel that. But at the same time, it's like, why are we comparing ourselves to everyone's journeys and everyone's paths when the only one we need to like follow is ours? And I feel like we do need those holes sometimes in order to gain momentum to keep running on the tracks. Marathons are hard. Life is a marathon. I always say this. It's hard to also run in a steady pace. It gets boring. It gets monotonous. We sometimes need a little hill, a little sprint, maybe a bump, sometimes a hole. And those holes are different and difficult because when you fall in a hole, you can get really hurt. But you also learn a lot because you learn how to jump over a hole or know how to recover from one after. Keep going. You also see who's around the hole to help you get out of it. It really shows you who's there with you, who you are in the times where you fall in holes. And it's necessary. It's necessary to fall into those sometimes. What we can't do is just keep bathing in guilt for long. We can't punish ourselves for not being productive or being further on in the career or further on in life as we want to be. We can't punish ourselves because it's not fair. Sometimes that guilt is not even ours. The guilt is coming from other people that are making you feel like you're not further. I realized I was carrying with a guilt that was coming more from what I thought my parents were feeling and punishing myself for that. And I realized that was something for me to kind of detach. It's not my responsibility. And I gotta pick my own path in life as well. And everyone is autonomous in their own life. You will not pick the same path that someone's picking or that your parents picked or that the person you admire picked. It shouldn't be that way. Your path is completely different. Your choices are completely different. It's always about how you decide to go in your path. What do you learn in your own path? What feels comfortable and uncomfortable in your own path and what that shows you about you. I feel like we put so much pressure on ourselves to be constantly producing and producing and producing and producing because we now live in a society. We live in a society. We live in a society that pushes us to constantly be putting things out and consuming things. It's become that way. And I'm scared. I'm scared that we're losing ourselves to it. And now with all these things coming out, I'm like, everything's true. It's true that they have the possibility to do so many things in front of our noses and we don't know. And the only way we can battle against it is just not giving them what they want from us. We need to stop consuming other people's lives and consuming things, and we need to start like putting out. And I don't mean like producing, because that's what they want too. They want us to like go and puts things out and entertain people and like make people stay in their phones. Like, no, I mean, like, sometimes producing or creating something is like doodling in a paper for like 5 minutes in a day, or like going out and talking to someone, or like, I don't know, making an origami, or you can go as far as like taking pictures just for yourself, holding a camera in your hands, going to like that's what I did, going to a Goodwill, getting some vinyl records that spoke to me. Get a vinyl record, a good record player, and listen to things I've never listened before and explore. And I'm just putting things out for myself. It's no longer for a public. It's no longer for social media. It's no longer for a capitalist, whatever. It's for me. And that, in a way, helped me recover the sense of what being in my journey and being alive is, which is just putting a little bit of yourself out there. And getting to your goal doesn't mean every day waking up and like, I need to practice drawing for 2 hours, and then I need to read for 2 hours, and then I need to research for another two, and then I need to create this to-do list. It's not that. That's an ideal mentality to have, or like an ideal routine for someone somewhere. But it's kind of unrealistic when you're also learning how to cope with everything that's going on, and also trying to live a life that you want to create, and also figuring things out in your own life, you know? It's unrealistic. Because we're all unstable in some ways. It's just the standard in our society now because of how things are. So we're all unstable in our own way, and that's fine. I don't think anyone has their shit together. No one. You can ask someone honestly, and they'll be like, dude, I'm just faking it. Like, dude, I'm just doing what feels right. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's always that. And it's comforting to know that, you know? It's comforting to remind ourselves that that's the reality. But everyone hides behind the phase that we've now created in social media. And it is not even real. So it's like, I stopped sharing so much in social media aside from like my work, because in my industry it's good to have your work out there in social media. I work in film. Um so I mean that's that. But other than that, like, I stopped trying to like post myself and talking and whatever, and I wanted to do that more because I thought like that was gonna help me connect with people. But I realized I was putting pressure to create for others to consume and like whatever. And I kind of don't want to do that anymore. Like, I wanted to, and now I don't know. I just want to like connect in a more intimate way. I want to put things out there for myself, and if I put something out there for more people, I want it to be intentional. I want it to be something that I want to share with more people that need it. Because I realized that convenience has replaced intimacy. We've created a world where we value convenience and accessibility before intimacy and humanity. We've we've gone as far as ordering food to your door with one finger and not even thanking the person that's bringing food to your door eye to eye, because you don't want to face it. You would just rather them leave it there for you to pick. And we get angry if they don't come up to our door. Do I have to go to the lobby? Do I have to go downstairs? Ugh. And then we complain about slavery. Like, that's crazy. What we're doing is inhumane. If you go back to the roots of everything, like, dude, imagine like a video, even less, like a photograph. Photos now are just a swipe on a phone. It's just that forgettable, a pixel, whatever. You keep on going with your life. You forget. Photos used to be like human, intimate. You have to have the camera in the place that you're taking it with your hands. And then you had to develop the picture that you took in that moment because the cameras were not accessible. The photos weren't as accessible or convenient as they were today. Like, you had to count how many pictures you had left, like so many film you had left. You had to see how much space you had in your camera, etc. So everything was more intentional. Oh, this is a moment I do want to capture. And it was not like pose, pose. No, it was like I want to grab this. And people weren't even posing. They were just living and like you captured a moment. Or like you would save that last film for a really special moment. And then that role became yours to later develop by hand. And with every step of that way, there was a human touch in the process. There was energy transfer to that. And then the picture, the physical picture, had weight, had life, had energy transferred to it from hands, from your hand or the hand that helped develop this picture. You know what I mean? So every time that you took a picture and had it in your hand, it was not something unforgettable. You saved it in an album. You gifted it to someone and it carried that energy, that human energy. We've lost like the intimacy of art, the the value in the human parts of everything. Now it's just digital. And what even is something digital? What even is a picture now? It's just pixels in a cloud that doesn't even exist. Like, we can't touch it. Phone dies, all of our memories die. What does that even mean? Money now is just numbers. Invisible. It's invisible. It's a number. What does that mean? What if they turn everything off one day? What do we have? I feel like we've lost that. And now owning records, owning photo albums, owning all that stuff is invaluable. We don't even know our neighbors. Neighbors were our friends. Now we don't even know who we share walls with. Like, we don't even grab the phone book and look for the name of the place we want to order and like, this is the one. Like, I'm going to spend time looking for the place I want. I'm going to call them, I'm going to talk to them, and then I'm going to come to my home and I'm going to give them cash that I got from working hard and in my energy, and energy from other people is in here. I give it to them, thank them, and they're going to go. That was more human, you know? Now it's just like, leave at my door, wait for them to leave, and then grab it. What is that? And it's because they just want us to lose every sense of what humanity is in order for them to make us, I don't know, robots to just do whatever they want. We can't let that happen. I think our generations, like the generations that are coming, my generation, I think we're more awake than that. I think we are able to break the cycles. I feel like our generation is the one meant to break a cycle, and that's so hard to do. I feel like right now in my life, I'm breaking cycles in my family as well, and it's so much pressure and weight, but if it's not done, it can be destructive. And I feel like we also have that responsibility and for the world and for future generations as well to break that cycle. We don't need to do big things in order to have a successful life. What even is success? Like success means different to every person because it's not one definition. It's whatever you want it to be, you know? I used to think success was like getting to all my accomplishments and like doing something big. No. Success is like something that comes from within. What to you is success? Think about it. You're gonna think of something tangible. It's like, oh, having $1 million in my bank and like being. That's not success. That's a goal. That's like an achievement, a tangible achievement. To me, success was like, oh, I want to be well known for like my work. Okay, but like, am I happy? I realize success is more about finding fulfillment. It's about what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a director and a famous artist. No. What do I want to be when I grow up? Happy, fulfilled, at peace, doing what moves me with the people I love in a place I love. I feel like that's what we should all aim for. Because we're all looking for a grand prize at the end of life. Like, oh my God, we're going to get the best retirement and money. Is like, when we're going to retire, we're going to have money, but we're not going to have the same energy, the same hunger for life, the same abilities that we have today to do what we want to do. We say, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. When's later? It's now. If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? Because we're never going to be ready to do anything. We're never going to be ready. Ready is a concept. We're never ready. We're always scared of something. We just need to go day by day, getting to know the world like it's the first day out. Like it's our first day in this planet. Doing what moves you. If that day what moves you is watch a movie and make your favorite meal, that's it. And that was great. If the other day is I want to see a friend I haven't seen in a while and like just go out and talk and walk and like stop and like, ooh, I saw this really cool place and like I found this book. I'm going to buy that book. Something told me to buy this book. And then you go home and you read a little. And that's it. And that's beautiful. That is life. The grand prize of life is not something at the end that's going to say, congratulations, you passed life. No. The grand prize of life is the present moment you have right now, and that's it. Because you're going to grow old, and you're going to look back, and you're going to realize, damn, it was just the memories I carry, that's the price. But if you grow old and you don't have any memories you can carry, what did you win? I live by this mantra I created, and I feel like it's a guide that I use in my day-to-day that really helps, which is to live with the soul and the mind of my 90-year-old self and the eyes of my 10-year-old self. What I mean by that is I always think about me when I'm 90, looking back at me right now. And I always think, what would she want me to do? And I know that she would want me to take risks, to just like fail, to make mistakes, because she would rather see that and have stories than ask herself, what if I would have done it? What if I would have done it when I was able to? And that mentality pushes me to keep going as far as I can, because I think about her and I'm like, I want to give you these stories for when you're old and you can look back and be like, dude, at least I did it. I wasn't left with a what if. As for my 10-year-old self, I try to live with her eyes. I try to live like her, to see like her, with the innocence, with my heart and mind full of wonder, with hope in the world, with this, like, savoring the present moment, seeing the beauty in the little things. Like, I babysit kids, these two kids that I've been babysitting since I moved to New York, and I see them now less than before, less time in a day, but when I see them, I'm able to tap into my 10-year-old self again, because they see a rock and they're like, oh my God, it's a heart. It's like, it's a heart. It's the shape of the heart. Or like, let's break some icicles. Let's collect all the icicles. And these are magical. Like, and it's so simple, but it's the beauty of everything that's around us, and the emotion and the excitement of just the mundane things, the day-to-day things. That's the price of life. Being able to be present and savor that. Those two versions of me hold a lot of wisdom, more than I do. And I feel like it's really, how do I say it? It's really fulfilling to embody those two and learn from each in order to live day by day. And trust me, every day is not like that. It's not perfect for me. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I'm like, yo, you too, shut up. Or like, even all the other versions of me, like, hey, shut up. But then I try to remember what they say. Take all the risks, leave no what ifs, but savor the present moment and the little things. Those make life worth it. Life is not accomplishing your biggest goal, because when you accomplish it, then what? Then what? I did it, then what? I feel great, then what? Life is not getting there. It's cool to get there. But life truly is like, yo, I'm here because I went through here and I saw this and I learned this and I did that, and that gives value to where I'm at. And I just want to see what life has for me. That's life. That's the value of it. That's what matters. It's not an achievement. There's no grand prize. The grand prize is right in front of you. And that's it. Once you realize that, sometimes it's not that serious. Sometimes it's not. To me, it's like, think about you when you're old, and think about what would you want your version of this time to do. What would you say? Like, dude, you should just do it, bro. Now that you're my age, you can't do that. You said you would do it later, but later never came. So just do it. And do it scared. Because that fear is never going to leave. Oh, she's never going to leave. Just do it with her. But also, don't jump so high. Don't jump so far. Just step by step. 10-year-old eyes. Little by little. So at the end, 10-year-olds don't have to worry about surviving. They always do whatever and they rely on someone bigger to tell them what to do and how to take care of themselves. And sometimes you have to be your 10-year-old self and then allow life and your conscious to be that adult. Sometimes you got to let go a little and trust that life will tell you how to do it because it always does. And it's usually with the holes or not even. Any bad moment is a lesson. It's like when an adult tells a 10-year-old kid, like, that's not how you do it. Like, hey, please, whatever. Like, no. The kid hates it. It feels horrible. Ooh, why are you saying that? Shut up. But when you feel bad, that's when you learn. Life does that. Life kind of says, like, no. And that's why it makes you feel punished or feel bad. That's the adult. But it's part of it. At the end of the day, we're all kids. We got to embrace it more. Yeah. I feel like that's what I've learned in the time of the whole. And I hope that this helps someone too. Live with the mind of your 90-year-old self and the eyes of your 10-year-old self. And life will put you in your path in the perfect time that you need it. There's no race. We're not competing against anyone. We're not in the Olympics. It's a marathon. And in a marathon, everyone wins. Who are the ones who lose? The ones who stop. And that's it. Thank you for being here. I miss doing this. Yeah. I I'm sending you a lot of love, whoever you are in your journey. I'm sending you great energy. We're all in this together. And a bad moment is not a bad life. Just a bad moment. It's an adult telling us, hey, yo, to our kid. Anyways, take care. We'll talk soon. Love you. Ciao, ciao.